they say all men are created equal. Shaq Master! I'll pull out the Glock. Full of suffering, succotash, son.
It's one of your nuts hanging out of your shorts.
Real glass.
You have a father, but your father's dead.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Too Sweet podcast. I'm Lucy and I'm joined by Estelle, and we're back with another Dynamite review that we try and do every week. We try and be consistent. This is finally just a normal Dynamite, a vanilla Dynamite you might call it. We've had a lot of interesting ones. We've had 4-hour spectaculars, we've had Grand Slam Mexico this week. But this week was just normal. Nice. It's nice to be back to normal, I think. So Estelle, what did you think of this week's episode? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was just fine, wasn't it? It was like you say, a nice change of pace, a good breathing episode before we get into the madness of Dynamite 300, and I believe the week after is the go home show. But I got a bit confused watching this show because at one point Excalibur was like, "An All In is 7 days away," and I think he meant to say 17, but I was like, "Holy shit, it's 7 days away!" But yeah, 17 days away. So we've got 2 more Dynamites after. So yeah, you can imagine there's going to be a lot going on, and then you've got All In, and then you're going to have the fallout of that. So just a brief episode, nothing massively consequential, but you're not mad at it because you just needed a minute.
Yeah, it's like a pit stop. Like the journey's still going. We're still making progress, but we're just having a little breather. Yeah, I thought overall this week was entertaining. And I think things progressed, but like you said, yeah, nothing majorly like newsworthy or huge that went on, which I think is good.
Well, I mean, other than Ibushi, but his
True.
The major news of that was him actually coming out on Collision, which was just insane. But it was still exciting because it had elements like that. We had Ibushi coming out and wrestling, and the start of the show was pretty fun, pretty frantic. So it wasn't by any means a boring show or anything like that. It just wasn't, like we say, intense.
Which is good. You don't need intense all the time.
Yeah, for sure. So we started off with Mercedes Moné attacking Tony's entrance to the arena with the statement maker on the ramp. Mina Shirakawa coming out along with Christopher Daniels, refs, Luther, and Mercedes said, "Let the games begin." So yeah, as I say, very chaotic, intense way to start. And this also got me thinking that, you know, at this point as well, I was thinking, 7 days away. I guess now it's 2 weeks, so it's not so true. But I was thinking, so I guess it makes more sense now because Mercedes got her licking this week. You'd assume Tony'd get revenge next week, and the final week there'll be some kind of pull apart. So it's very evenly matched. You really just have no inclination as to who's going to win. But they are starting to amp it up. They're going from the mind games to actual escalated violence right now, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah, this week it stepped up a bit, didn't it, with the actual violence and the jumping from Mercedes, which I think it's building up nicely, and I feel like you can sense it feels like a big feud and lots of tension between them without it having to be constantly talking trash. I hate you so much, you're a bitch, or I want to slap you. Like it's not like that, but it's been effective. I think we said last week it's been a little bit more psychological than that, which has really worked. And yeah, I think this week was a nice continuation of that. It was a nice way to start off the show in like an unexpected, very dynamic sort of way. So yeah, I found it entertaining.
Yeah, Mercedes also looked fucking incredible. Like, wow.
As always.
The fits that she's giving us every week are just on another level.
She's just been announced
star.
for Rev Pro's, one of Rev Pro's shows. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned this because
Really?
I full story, but she is wrestling for Rev Pro at some point in the future. So she'll be
That's
defending
huge.
that championship. People have noted that Rev Pro put the prices up significantly whenever she's on the card.
Yeah,
they call
they
it
do.
the Mercedes tax. It's at least 70 quid more expensive if she's on the card for like front row. I believe. I don't have the full story. I shouldn't have mentioned this because I don't even know the full thing. But yeah,
Well, they do it for many top stars that they get
I
in,
mean,
they
it's
always bump the
understandable, isn't it?
prices. And yeah, I mean, they've got to cover the fee
Yeah,
somehow. I
absolutely.
imagine she's not cheap to book.
No,
So
certainly not. Certainly not.
yeah, yeah. Then we had um the Bucks, and they were talking about the tag match that Osprey and Swerve were supposed to have later on that night, and that they had used their EVP powers to influence the match to commence right there and then. So again, add to the excitement. It felt very unexpected, like whoa, anything can happen, sort of thing. So yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's
had Swerve and
spontaneous.
Osprey, yeah, against Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. I thought Osprey and Swerve worked really well together. There was no tension, which was fun. Like they were just working, two goats, working well together. I thought Lee Johnson's cool as well, but I think Blake Christian really has star potential. He really impressed me in this match. All four men did. Nobody dialed it in, even though it's got that predictable element to it.
Yeah.
I thought that it was a really, really fun and exciting match.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think Blake Christian, Lee Johnson looked really good in this. I completely agree with what you said. Even though it was predictable, like no one took it easy. It was Swerve and Osprey being a brilliant team, just very in sync. I did I quite enjoyed the chaos element of the Young Bucks, like moving it to be number one, like the first match of the show, sorry. And Osprey hadn't even laced his boots yet. He was like running down to the ring.
Yeah.
Um, and Osprey, I mean, Swerve trying to, put his t-shirt on or whatever. I quite thought that was quite nice. It's funny because a lot of wrestlers say like there's this recurring nightmare if you're a wrestler that like your music hits and you haven't laced up your boots yet. And that's like a dream that you have. Apparently, that's like a rite of passage. When you're a wrestler and you've had the dream, it's a sign that you're like a real wrestler. So Osprey's living out that nightmare for reals. Um, I thought it would have been nice if that maybe played into the start of the match. I don't know. My initial thought when watching it was like, okay, so could could the opposite team have like took more advantage of that, of them being like caught off guard and maybe been more on the upper hand in the opening bit, leading to a big comeback. But I was won over with the structure of the match as it went along because I did really enjoy it. Um, I just thought it's just funny that Blake Christian and Lee Johnson knew somehow apparently that the match had been moved. They were already there in their full gear. They were ready. And comments were like, "Well, they must have got a tip from the Young Bucks." I was just like, nitpicky. Just made me laugh.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like you would have thought that would have happened, but I still thought even though they didn't get that strong start, they got their offense in well, and I guess it's just trying to become overly protective of Swerve and Osprey.
Yeah, which makes
They're
sense.
like, oh, we don't want them getting beat up on too much, but
Yeah.
it didn't really make the most sense. But the ending, as I said, very excited. The Bucks actually coming out, interrupting, and that's kind of when they got a little bit more of their offense in with the whole there's music playing and suddenly I'm a wrestler and I'm paralyzed and what is this music? Like, it's ridiculous. But the Bucks, they sat on the outside, they pulled up a seat, being very antagonizing little pricks they were. Swerve and Osprey picking up the win again in tandem. The security blockade a path between the Bucks and Swerve and Osprey, and then Swerve, this is like the peak of excitement of this match, and the biggest fallout of it was Swerve proposing a match at All In, which like on the surface is like, okay, it's not. It'll be a great in-ring match. Like the Bucks, great workers, best tag team of all time, in my opinion. And Swerve and Osprey, oh my god, they're gonna make magic. But it is very like Dynamite feeling. But then
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
EVP titles are on the line, and then Swerve just like Swerve stomped on security, and it was fucking epic. But holy shit, yeah, EVP titles on the line. The potential for this is huge. Like they could do so much with this. So I'm really excited to see where it goes, especially if they win, because that would be huge, wouldn't it? If like Hangman wins the title, as you know,
Yeah.
of course he's gonna win the title, no question. And then if they pick up the EVP powers, and if we've got a heel Swerve, as my prediction is, and he's coming to heads with the face Hangman, what if he starts making the new champion Hangman's life a little bit
Oh,
difficult? Eh? What about that?
oh, I like
That would be
that.
juicy.
Yeah, that does sound really tasty. But th I like the way you framed that because when I thought this through my head, and I was thinking, that just sounds a bit, I don't know, I'm being overcritical, a bit cheesy. Like, oh, the bad guys are gone forever. We're the bosses now, and we're gonna make everything sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah,
And
that's what it's going to seem like.
yeah,
But then the
yeah,
egos are going to come out for
yeah, I
sure. But
think
you know, they could also
you're
just,
right.
I mean, Mox could fucking win, and also the Bucks could win, and they might not even like play anything into it.
Who knows what could happen? It's all up in the air at the moment. But I like your idea of Swerve. But we're not going to entertain the idea of Mox winning because he's not going to. Remember, he's not going to.
Yeah, you can't even speak it into existence. So yeah, super, super cool, super exciting. Also, just talking about All In, the ticket number. Have you heard how many tickets they have sold?
No.
So they're on 21K at the minute.
Oh, wow.
So like that's still really good, really impressive. It's a strong number. I mean, you know, you'd never ever expect them to pull 60, 80 in the US market, completely different to the English market, Australian market, Mexican market, very different. Um, but yeah, I think what I've kind of heard is like 25K would be the ideal goal, and then anything like above 25K would be amazing. 21K does seem quite low, especially when you've got these huge matches on and Hangman against Mox. But I don't know whether it is a case of people not buying it because maybe Texas is like quite an oversaturated market, maybe also an element of the boy who cried wolf. Well, am I actually gonna see Hangman win? But
Yeah, fair.
yeah,
That's a
it's
valid point.
interesting.
That is interesting. I mean, yeah, to be fair, like out of context, that number to me means nothing. Like 21K sounds like a lot, but yeah, if you're saying that they're aiming for like 25K, it does seem, I guess it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to hit that goal within the 2 or so weeks that they've got left now. Because unless, they really drop the prices and they have a last minute surge, which is certainly is possible. It'd be interesting to know if anyone who is listening is in the area, maybe have got tickets, or are you considering tickets? Like, are they expensive? Like proportionally, is that maybe what's putting people off? Or I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, I mean Forbidden Doors in the O2 Arena, and that's 20K.
Right, yeah.
So yeah.
So what is do you
Um
know what the capacity is for this for the venue for all
oh,
that?
I think it's massive. I think it's absolutely I think it's like a massive stadium.
I
God.
just Googled all in venue and expected it to know what I meant. Didn't it?
Yeah. But I don't know whether these matches, might I guess the idea is it's an incentive for more people if they're kind of on the fence, sort of considering it.
Oh, apparently it has a 40,000 capacity.
Yeah, yeah, it
It's
has a
mad.
large capacity. I mean, it was always going to be a bit tapped up, but yeah, I guess we won't know till the day of the event what it looks like, what it sounds like. I mean, I'm sure it'll look and sound amazing because like camera work and stuff, but will it still have the feeling of the first two all-ins? It just feels like because of the crowd size and location to me, and I always felt like this since they announced All In was going to be in America, that how can it have that kind of special feeling? Because to me, it's just surely going to feel like another pay-per-view. Sorry to say.
I mean, I know that we've said you can't really compare it to
We are biased, though.
Well, yeah,
We are totally biased.
completely
We
biased.
wanted to come back.
Exactly. I know we said we can't really compare it to the last two All-Ins because it's different, completely different market. But if you can compare those numbers, like 72K in 2023, 45K in 2024, like it's a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So then we had a video package of Don Callis, and he was like, "Oh, Kenny, you've got no one." And then it was like, "Oh, but you've got Ibushi, and here's all the history with the Golden Lovers." Which, yeah, we love that. Keep giving context to
Nice.
people, keep spoon feeding people. Very good, very nice. And again, like him showing up at Collision. So yeah, it's a bittersweet moment because it's like, ooh, Ibushi, tasty, but then it's also like, ooh, Don Callis family. It's just like, yeah, this really is just gonna keep. It's kind of like sprawling out of control. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's not stopping. It's not a 2 week storyline. Like this is
Oh
gonna
yes.
continue all the way throughout the Okada Omega feud.
Yeah,
And it doesn't
yeah.
need it. It doesn't need it, but it's what we're getting, so I'm just gonna have to shut up and
Shut
accept it.
up and put up, bitch. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
That's what Tony Khan's saying to us. He's like, listen, you get you get a Bushi, so just what are you complaining about?
That is true. They made the books commenting on what had transpired between them and Osprey Swerve, and they were like, you know, Swerve, you put your hands on AEW officials, so you suspended for a week without pay. And then we had a Carter coming in, and he had his introductions of the Callis family, and he was like, "Hey guys, like, look who we've got here. Look at my new friends," which was just kind of like ridiculous, like Bucks and Rocky Romero, because they just literally do nothing. These men do nothing. And my favorite bit was when the Bucks were speaking of the common goal, and like we need to hurt Kenny Omega, we need to hurt Ibushi, and Trent's like, I'll hurt him. And it's like,
Well, yeah.
what? Like, you've got Takeshita standing right there.
Yeah.
And it's like Trent Barretta's like, I'll
I
do
got this,
it.
guys. I
Like,
got it. I got it in the
okay.
bag. When your incompetent co-worker
And
wants to do it, and you're just like, okay, you go.
Takeshita, he's looking at Okada and he says, "This is temporary." So that was very juicy as well. It was like, oh, there is light at the end of the tunnel,
Mm,
perhaps.
well, yeah, that's laying the foundation that this is not a permanent thing, and there's a little bit of tension, a little bit of, I don't know. I want to say like static electricity between them. I don't know why I want to say that, but yeah.
Yeah, a bit of tension. But I do feel bad for Trent Brett because, you know, Rocky Romero, right, just I've not no ill wishes against him, but just NPC vibes. Like he really is just giving absolutely nothing. Trent Barretta, right, is just giving maybe a tiny bit more. But I
Hmm.
feel really bad for him because of his injury, which
Yeah,
meant that when he had the heel turn and he went to the Callis family, that was huge. That was a huge moment, and
yeah.
it was very. He came across very nasty and genuinely quite scary. But then because of his untimely injury, and I always feel so sorry for wrestlers when that happens and it kills their momentum just as they're trying to get up the ladder. The life of a Jay White fan, am I right? But yeah, it ain't working. Like even he's to actually do something and show us why he's in this family, him Rocky Romero, and they are scary and
Yeah.
ooh spooky, but or something else. I just don't get it. And then also you've got the murder machines. So I'm like, either pick Rocky and Trent or the murder machines because
Don't need both.
splitting the attention between two teams who don't really have that much chemistry. I don't even know if they are a team or if they're single guys. They might be single guys. But either way, these two kind of groups of people who don't have that much chemistry, you need to just pick one and build them.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was the proof was in this match when Trent Beretta came out to no reaction whatsoever. Like not as barely any boos at all. It was very quiet. It that's just what happens when, like you said, just not doing anything. And your attention is split between so many people in the Callis family.
And I feel like Tony always I think comes from a people pleaser, nice place. If he always
Mhm.
wants to give people something, especially if they're
Yeah,
hard workers, which
yeah,
is lovely. But the issue then is, like I say, when you're spinning too many plates,
yeah,
you'd be better off making the hard decision of prioritizing certain people. And he kind of has done that with the roster of now the stars. You've got your like top six or top seven or whatever. You've got your Ricardo, your Osprey, your Omega, your Hangman. And he knows now that, yeah, these people we need to put more stock in rather
yeah.
than having 20 people that all have the same level of momentum because it just doesn't work. And I feel like he's still trying to do that in the mid card or lower down on the card even to appease people and to be fair and
Mm.
to be nice, but it's just it's just not they're not going to go anywhere. It's just very stagnant.
It it's a nice thing to do, but it's not always gonna work out for the best. It's not always in someone's best interest to be nice and want to put them in a certain position or like fit as many people in as you can. It's nice, but it's just not gonna work out for everyone. So, in some cases it may, but in this, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. In this case, it's not particularly beneficial for many of the people involved because they just get so
Yeah.
lost and they'll blend in.
And he had sort of like, bless him, he was trying. He had the angsty look. He had the hood up. Um, and the match itself in ring was great. Like it
Yeah,
was a good match. I did
yeah,
enjoy it, and not
absolutely.
just
Me too.
from being able to watch Ibushi and him being in way better shape, way better conditioning, so much better than what we'd seen him 2 years ago when it was frankly a little bit difficult to watch and a little bit sad to watch. I thought for his fourth TV match or whatever it is that he's wrestled, he's looking great. So
Hmm.
that was good. But also, I think Trent added a lot to this match as well. And he really met him physically there as well. So that's why it's kind of, when someone's good as well, that's when it's hard because it's like, it makes the wasted potential sting a little bit more,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. Yeah, this match it was really smooth. It was really back and forth. I thought, especially towards the end, there was a lot of near falls. Um, Trent did like he had like was it a running knee and like a pile driver, and I thought that was going to be the end of the match, but Ibushi kicked out. It was really exciting. I was excited watching it. So yeah, you're right. It just makes it more. Um, I don't know what the word is, but just yeah, more bitter, more it stings more when you feel like it's a wasted talent.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had, and I think as well, because the whole, sorry, just to go back to it, just to finish it, the nature of the Callis family, right, is when you're in a faction, even though you may have Takeshita, and so in your mind as a book, you're thinking, well, Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher are going to bring everyone up. What actually ends up happening is, you've got all these people with different stats of awe, if you will, and it just balances out and there's a median. So at the
Yeah,
end of the day, they get dragged down.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's the difficult part as well, is the impact that then has on Takeshita and Fletcher. And that's when
Yeah,
like I have the real issue. That's when I'm like, that's like my real gripe, because yeah, I would be lovely to see Trent Bretta do more, but it would be really lovely to see Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita do more.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we had Rocky on the outside with the distractions. Yeah, like this was pretty evenly matched physically. Um, yeah, great to see Bushi looking healthy, hitting his beats. Uh, and they finished the simple, effective final knee strike for the win. Deadly, boom, put him away. Then we had Okada coming out, and they have a little face off. Ibushi is like, let's go, and Okada walks off. Holy shit, they are fighting each other next week for Dynamite 300. That is crazy work. But also, that's all you need to do with Okada. That's all you needed to do with Kenny. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. This is what I was saying. Like, he just got in the ring and got out.
And they said it on commentary, didn't they? Like he said nothing but said a lot at the same time. which is so accurate.
But yeah, holy shit, I'm so excited for that match. I can't wait. And I feel like, yeah, seeing Ibushi's match on Dynamite this week, I think, yeah, he's definitely ready for that. And Okada will
100%.
take him to the next level. As some people, I'm like, well, he's still a little bit slow in it. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, can you people just ever be happy? Like,
Yeah, I
it's just
know, right?
ridiculous. Like, well, he's not what he was he? But it was all right. I'm like, fuck me, it's his fourth match back, bro. Like,
Yeah.
just be grateful you get to see him. Have some gratitude. Practice some wrestling gratitude today. Name 3 things in wrestling that you're grateful for.
What a brilliant idea, though. You know what? We should start like a we could start a Patreon and gate it like a wrestling mindfulness podcast. Just like take a deep breath, think of 3 things in wrestling you're grateful for. Think of your 3 favorite wrestlers. Love love that. But you're so right. There's no pleasing some people. You know, you could go out there and have a 5-star classic. There's still find some way to have an issue with it. Oh, we shouldn't be going
Yeah.
that hard. That's dangerous, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Um Then we had a really, really awesome promo of Mox. This was fucking brilliant, talking about the significance of the present moment. Can Hangman seize the moment? Will he let it slip through his fingers? You know, and he's not bothered about all the mental crap. He's not bothered about, I believe they called it the crybaby emo crap. He
Yeah.
he doesn't care about any of it. Who's his friend? Who's not his friend? He needs to worry about Mox. And just the tone of this promo, the focus, it was Moxley on top form, and I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, 100%. I liked the because his whole thing was, oh, I'm going to show the world what the world champion looks like. But it wasn't like, oh, Hangman's not good enough to be champ. He's not as good as me. He doesn't deserve to be champ. It was more like he's annoyed that Hangman's not, well, like you said, he's not seizing the opportunity. Like he's caught up on other things. He's too humble. He's not,
Yeah, that was the big thing. Humble.
yeah. Like he can't take a compliment or he can't accept the fact that he is the fan's hero. Um, I think one of the lines he said was, Hangman's afraid of becoming the man that the world wants him to be. It's like he can't accept that hero status that other people are trying to put on him. And I think that's, yeah, it's just a really interesting angle for Mox to go at it from. It's sort of, you know, like last week he was like begging Hangman, like, come on, rise up to me, come on, come on, come on, do it. Um, so yeah, I completely agree with it. It was really good.
And that's why I feel like Hangman is the guy because, when are you next going to get another guy who's got as much story depth and such an emotional arc that can meet Mox there? Yes. But also his whole thing since the start has been wanting someone to rise up and to basically it's like complacency in AEW. That's been his big gripe, which,
Yeah.
you imagine kind of goes beyond kayfabe and is
Mm,
a real
yeah.
gripe that he has. So yeah, as much as we love Hangman, yeah, maybe in the past there has been some complacency, but it comes from a place of insecurity. And the great power comes great responsibility with being the guy. But
Yeah.
with how he's been handling himself the past year, you just notice that shift in. I don't want to say like professionalism isn't the right word because he's always been a professional, but do you know what I mean? I feel like he's become more of a man. Like
Oh
just his
yeah.
vibe, and not just as like a wrestler, but I genuinely look at him now and I'm like, you can carry the company like on your back. Like you are so ready for this title reign. You are so ready to lead the locker room, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
100%. Yeah, it's not like it doesn't feel like a young up and coming wrestler anymore. He's like got all this potential. It feels like he's reached his potential. This is it. This is the moment
Moment.
to
Yeah.
seize that potential and be the leading guy. And you feel like, yeah, absolutely, he could be a locker room leader. You feel like he's got the experience now to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Then we have Renee with AR Fox's loss at Collision. He talked about his momentum. Again, talk about someone who really had a shit hand with his his cutting of momentum. when he got his heat at the first All In for not being able to attend. But anyway, yeah, Ricochet comes in and he's talking about his plight for gold and how he wants a team, and but more importantly, needs someone to partner with him to take on Jet Speed. So AR Fox is like thinking about it and his hand accidentally extends, and yeah, he's like, oh great, you. And AR Fox, being the people pleaser,
Yeah.
the relatable people pleaser, talking about complacency, he's like, okay, I guess. But he wants to, but it's in his interest in it because it's like, he wants to continue that momentum. So yeah, makes sense. I liked this segment.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. It was funny. Ricochet being a little shit as usual.
Yeah. Um, so then we went straight into the match. Every time I see Jet Speed, they get more endearing. God, they're just so adorable. Like Mike Bailey, he's just got so much energy. Like, he was making his entrance, and he was just like kicking the crowd. He was just like,
Mhm.
I feel like he must have like 3 cans of Red Bull or something before he comes out.
Yeah,
Like he's so amped up. Like I need that energy.
absolutely. Yeah, can you share some with the rest of us? It's just
Yeah,
pure serotonin.
he is. Um, like the type of person you could just never imagine him going heel.
Oh yeah,
Just can't imagine it.
definitely
He's like
not.
Willow. He needs to be face forever.
Like Willow, the smile is part of his attire. Like he wouldn't look normal without a smile.
So we had this really fun dynamic of Ricochet as the mentor or the team captain, and I liked it because I thought with like the Ricochet thing, he'd just find a heel team and instantly join up. But I thought this was fun. Um, yeah, and Foxy he looked great. The foot stomp and the senton to Bailey on the floor. Well, the foot stomp to Kevin Knight and then the senton to Bailey on the floor. Really innovative stuff.
Yeah,
Great to see him pulling out all the stops. Ricochet, wanting position in parts, and he didn't take the hot tag, which led to Fox getting put away with the UFO splash. So yeah, I just thought this was a lot of fun, and it built sympathy for AR Fox, and yeah, I liked it. I
absolutely.
liked it a lot.
Yeah, me too. AR Fox looked great. And Ricochet was doing great character work and making AR Fox look even better through doing that. Like I think you said it, like building a lot of sympathy for him and just it was funny, but also like made you hate Ricochet even more. Um, and and yeah, I liked the way Ricochet just looked like a complete dickhead, and that's what led into AR Fox losing. So clearly Ricochet's fault, without making anyone look, particularly weak for taking the loss. Um, yeah, I thought it was really good. One thing I found really funny was, Excalibur was really trying to put AR Fox over. He said something like, "I feel like AR Fox is one big win away from something special," and then Taz just went, "I guess." It's like, "Oh, great, thanks, Taz."
Has and to your point, but yeah, I do think though that Ricochet and AR Fox did have chemistry together, so it's a bit of a shame if this is the end of the road
Yeah.
for him. And I do think with Fox, he does kind of need some kind of buffer. Like his work with Swerve was good. I do think he kind of needs to be in a tag team or
Yeah.
be in a faction or something. I'm not suggesting the Callis family, please. God, no, 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 no. But
That bus is full.
I think there is something fun about a face that needs momentum, and they know they shouldn't shake the hand of the devil, and the devil in this case being Ricochet, and kind of manipulating and taking advantage of AR Fox. It's kind of a more refined way of doing the learning tree stuff, but a bit more
Yeah.
bearable because it's not Chris Jericho doing it.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But it's like Ricochet thinks he's using AR Fox, but AR Fox is using him. And he's sort of grinning and bearing it because he knows that's his best chance. So yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
But then also, like, will AR Fox lose himself in the process? I mean, I don't know. They might stop working together after this week, but I do think there's more potential. And like I said, I think I want to see Ricochet actually with someone face rather than just, Blake Christian, Lee
Another heel.
Johnson, or
Yeah.
yeah, or Andretti and uh, oh my God, why can't I not think of his name? It's Leo Rush.
Leo.
Um, yeah, I think there's more heat Ricochet can get out of being
Yeah.
in the team captain position.
Yeah, definitely.
So then we had Jet Speed, they got the winner's high, Shivani. He's saying what's next for you two, and they said that they've got the sights on the tag titles. Night has a little MVP parody cover. But the Hurt Syndicate, they were not enjoying the karaoke. They came out and absolutely destroyed these poor two men. But it was so comedic because all they'd done was say we want the tag titles, and he did his little MVP cover, and then that enraged them. The reaction, the overreaction, was just hilarious to me. It was so funny.
Yeah, yeah, it was completely out of proportion. I also thought it was kind of predictable though. Like when they were up on the stage, I was just like, they are getting fucking jumped. You don't have an interview on the stage unless you're getting jumped. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but yeah, I did think it was quite predictable.
I would love a wrestling character that's kind of like Orange Cassidy in that he sort of pokes fun of, the comebacks and the lazy kicks and stuff. But imagine if there was like a meta wrestler that's like super intelligent. And so they're like, oh, I'm gonna get jumped, so I'm gonna like keep turning round, or they're like they don't get distracted by music. Like they've got this kind of power where I don't know where kayfabe stuff it just doesn't impact them. That'd be so funny, but
That would be
yeah, I
brilliant.
mean they got absolutely ragdolled.
Incoming gimmick if one of us ever decides to be a wrestler.
It would be like big
Galaxy
brain,
Brain.
just like huge prop. Yeah, and the climatic choke slam on tonight with Mike Bailey landing on him through the table. It was just nasty. And then they just lay there, just wasted. And Mike Bailey, bless him, he was really
He was
selling it.
selling. He was, yeah. He was
He
giving
was
it his
popping
all.
off.
He was like, I
He
am
was.
actually gonna pass away right now. Acting.
Um, yeah, and then MVP's like, bring our titles out. Justin Roberts, get on the mic, get the music out for our 2-second walk into the ring. We want full presentation, which again was
So
very
extra.
hilarious to me. So extra, yeah. And then MVP is like, our tag team champions are begging who is going to stand up.
That was
It's like,
hilarious. That was so funny because it's like, has someone just stepped up and you've just absolutely flattened them?
at this point, I could just see him being tag champions forever because who can legitimately dethrone these two men?
Fuck knows. Fuck knows. Jet Speed. Woo. You've got to believe.
Well, apparently, if Jet Speed can stand up and walk, they can have a shot at All In. So,
Oh wow.
wishing them a speedy recovery.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this was, I don't know. Yeah, it was funny in all the ways we've described it. It's just like you just couldn't possibly take it seriously. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't really know. I'm choosing to see it as a good thing because it's funny.
Yeah, live, laugh, love. MJF, he's continuing his plight for the title, so nothing really new. Same old from the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
But music is supposed to play for the Hurt Syndicate to leave, but instead Matt Briscoe's plays. He comes out and he's like, the producer says you're taking too long. It's my time now. I've got my four-way match. MJF says we can take as long as we want because we are actually stars. Matt Briscoe, then just to top it off the hilarity, Mark Briscoe then enters his therapy year and he's like, I think this is coming from like a place of like, insecurity. And then we got an empathy chant, which was so funny, followed by the kosher pickle chant. It just descended into madness. MVP as well, just the icing on the cake said, We will go in the back and watch what Mark Briscoe does best. Lose. After we've said every week all this
Hmm.
man does is lose.
Yeah,
It was a great segment.
yeah. Clearly, Hurts Kit top Too Sweet podcast fans because just copying what we said, basically.
We always put him over, to be fair.
True, it's true. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it just cracked me up again. It's just really funny. But I quite like the way it led into the next match
Mm.
quite seamlessly. That was nice.
Yeah, and the conclusion to that match. It was quite nice because it was self-aware, like, oh, Matt Briscoe hadn't had a win in a while.
Yeah,
And I think pointing that out, I mean, I'm very aware of that, but point out again furthered the, like, oh, fuck, man's actually won for
yeah.
once.
Yeah, well, it's like he's proved them wrong, and yeah, you're right. It puts it at your forefront of your brain, like, oh my God, he's actually done it. Because to be fair, like looking at this lineup, so we had Roderick Strong, Matt Briscoe, Takeshita, and Bandido. I thought, especially good commentary were pointing out, like, if one of these men is 2 wins away from a title shot, when they put it like that, because like the winner of the Casino Gauntlet gets a title opportunity, I was thinking. Well, none of them really live up to that standard apart from Takeshita, really. So I was thinking he's the only one who's got a chance of winning. Um, but no, was wrong. Was proven wrong, and I liked that. I was very surprised. It's not to be fair, like on Dynamite, it's not often you get a result that really does quite catch you off guard like this. So that was good.
Yeah, and it builds to his credibility, like when he's having matches again in the future.
Yeah,
It just makes it seem a bit like, oh, well, he could pull it out of the bag. But I'm sorry, so with the Casino battle, right? Sorry, with
Gauntlet.
this qualifying 4-way match for the Casino Battle Royale, this is for them to be the number one entrant, right?
Yes,
How is that an advantage though? Surely that's like
because
the worst spot.
no, because it's a gauntlet match. Which means like they enter one by one. So it starts with 2 people. The match could end between them, but then every 90 seconds or so, a new person joins.
Oh, okay.
So you
Okay.
might not even get into the match before there's a pinfall and you miss out on the opportunity because the match is finished.
Okay.
So
That makes
that's why you
sense.
want to be in number one because then you're not waiting. Yeah, the I like this. I love this concept of a match so much better than like a rumble or something. It's a lot more exciting.
Yeah, and seeing it live was pretty cool as well. Probably like one of my
A lot
favorite
of fun, yeah.
live wrestling experiences I've had. But for some reason, it just. I remember last time as well. Like before we were doing predictions for All In, I was like, "What in the fuck is a Casino Battle Gauntlet Royale? Like, what does that even? That means nothing to me." And every time I just forget. And it's like the token AEW match as well. It's like their token thing. And every time I'm such a fake fan, I'm like,
What's that?
"What?" Oh,
There's no space in your brain for a gauntlet match. It's understandable.
no,
There's a lot going on in
no.
wrestling. It's fine. You can let that one slip. I'll just remind you, it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, the camera didn't know where to look during this match. There was so much going on. I thought that everyone did well in this match, but I thought Takeshita and Bandido really injected the energy into this match.
Mm.
For me, they had a lot of great big spots that I thought was fun. I enjoyed Takeshita with the double German. I thought the ending was very interesting because, yeah, I would say Matt Briscoe got the win, but the way he did it was very opportunistic. So we had the sequence of Bandido losing his grip on Takeshita, so he couldn't get the bridge for the pin. Then Roddy Strong intercepts him for the end of Heartache. But Matt Briscoe is there on the top rope for the frog bone, 1, 2, 3 for the win. Very rapid, very unexpected, and a lot of fun. And a great mix of people in this as well. As much as I'm paradigmed out. I think it is still a fun mix of people, and that is one of practicing my wrestling gratitude list. That is one of the perks of Dynamite is the fun matchups that you get week on week. It's always fresh. It's never boring.
hmm Oh yeah, it's like you always get a different match with different people and it's unique. You're excited to see how they're going to mesh, and this was a perfect example of that. And yeah, I loved how Matt Briscoe was just in the right place at the right time to pick up the win in an unexpected way that you didn't see coming, or I didn't at least anyway. So yeah, I really, really did enjoy it. Um, yeah, fantastic. And I just want to point out though, Paragon have got merch and it's disgusting. It's so ugly. And the way they've
Is
designed
it?
it, it says so
I need to look at it.
Roderick Strong was wearing it when he came down to the ring. So it's like it says Para at the top, then Gone at the bottom, and there's like a silhouette of them in the middle. But the way they've laid it out kind of looks like it says Papa John because you can't
Get it hot like Papa John.
you
Get it
can't
hot like Paragon.
you can't quite see that all of the R on Para.
This
So
is
it's
the
not,
marketing specialist right now.
oh yeah, I'd be better
It's
at this
coming
now. I'm
out.
not a graphic designer. So I'm not dunking on whoever's graphically designed this, but it looks like it says Papa John. The
Oh, they
R looks
don't have it. Oh
pink.
no, they do. This blue one. Is it like a blue? I can't show because it's a fucking
Oof.
camera, but it's like blue.
It
Yeah,
says
it's blue,
Para
and
at the
then the
top.
silhouettes are in red.
It says Para at the
It
top and
does look
Gone at the
like Papa
bottom.
John.
And then yeah, doesn't it? That just
It's
it made me laugh.
29.99 cents dollars, $29 99 cents. That is fucking
That's
ridiculous.
steep. That's steep.
And that's crazy, bro.
Papa John free marketing.
I don't think that's going to be in the top sellers of the week that they have. Although who knows?
I highly doubt it.
Right, anyway, distracted. Don't need to buy more merch. Don't need to buy more merch. I might just rock up in a fucking Don Callis t-shirt to All In, Not All In, Forbidden Door. I'm not even going to All In. I might just rock up in I might cut. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get that Papa John shirt. I'm gonna get a Don Callis family shirt, and I'm gonna sew them together in the middle so everyone knows what I stand for.
Oh, that biggest hipster going.
Yeah.
Love that. Bit of DIY crafts, yeah.
Speaking of which, the comedy of the post-match, which was Adam Cole talking about an open challenge to any member of the Don Callis family, that had me laughing. Because you just know. I mean, I'd be very surprised if it would be I don't think it would be Okada because he's got his match on Dynamite, or Takeshita or Kyle Fletcher because done that many times. So I'm guessing it's going to be Rocky Romero because Trent got his match on Dynamite and they want to showcase them two at the minute, it feels like. But it was just oh my God, get this all away from me.
I know. Well, I don't remember this even happening. I'm not sure if for some reason this wasn't shown on my stream, but so I just looked it up and apparently it was announced later that Josh Alexander's accepted the challenge.
Oh, great.
I mean, wow, are you thrilled?
I forgot Josh Alexander existed for a moment because this is another person that is,
Yeah, getting lost in the shuffle.
on the same level of Murder Heart Machine, Romero, Beretta, and Josh Alexander, and they're all to me on the same lower card level.
Yeah.
How is Josh Alexander supposed to get a start? How is Trent Beretta supposed to get? It's too many. And I get you can be like, oh, it's meta. It's like the Callis family. It never actually really helps people get over, does it? And it's that's so stupid, though. I hate that.
So it's just pointless, basically.
It's just pointless.
What's the point?
So then we had the women's, which was really cool. We had Stat versus Thunder Rosa, Athena, and Willow. So
Oh my.
lots to love in this.
Yeah, very tasty.
Gratitude list. Any day we see Athena on Dynamite is a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. And double the gratitude with Willow Nightingale being involved too.
And Stat as well, and seeing how their dynamic was gonna play out in
I
the
love-
ring. Though it didn't
I
seem
love
that
that.
personal.
It didn't seem that personal, you don't think?
Not as heightened as I thought it was gonna get, maybe.
I mean, fair enough. I was just about to say that I really like their dynamic in this. The history between them was getting over with the crowd, I felt like, between Chris and Willow. So when they did face off, the crowd was very excited. Yeah, I guess maybe they're holding off with them fighting too much in this because I guess there wasn't I mean,
Yeah.
they did get their hands on each other, but it wasn't absolutely loads. So yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, and I thought it was similar to the last match in that there was no empty space. It wasn't
Mm,
predictable.
yeah.
And it was great to see Stat with this new resurgence of focus and energy and confidence. I also thought that Billy Starks added a lot on the outside because,
Mm.
obviously there's a bit where she was like, get my belt, Billy, and she went to go get a belt. But it wasn't just that, it was like, normally when someone's on the outside, they just kind of stand there and they just kind of. But she was like all around, like round the ring. She was like, oh, she was selling every little thing. It was really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It was nice to see her having, obviously you want to see her wrestle ideally, but having a little presence in this was nice.
Yeah, and so the finish we have Marina Shafir coming down, Yuta coming behind
Oh
Willow,
my.
who was starting to get an advantage on Chris Statlander, but she made quick work of him. It's always fun to see Willow do a bit of intergender stuff. Um, and obviously all of her history with the Death Riders and Yuta and Marina. But Stat was then able to spike Willow with a pile driver. So yeah, obviously she has taken Yuta's words of last week to heart and thought about it, and yeah, she's in some kind of alliance with the Death Riders right now, which is interesting.
That is very interesting. I was caught off guard again by this result. I think that commentary were a little bit like, oh, did she want the help? D Whether she wanted it or not, she took advantage of it. So yeah, she's sort of following Willa Yuta's advice from last week in that sense. So it's interesting that dynamic. Is this like a pre-planned thing? Is she being sort of recruited against her will? Um, how's Marina Shafir gonna react to all this? Like how's that gonna play out? So yeah, I thought it was great, and I love seeing Yuta get a little bit more of a character arc. Very nice.
But it's tough, isn't it? Because me and you were working under the assumption that the Death Riders are going to be no more within 17
True.
days.
True.
So,
Oh, I bet they're
so
making a
her.
team between Marina Shafir and Chris for this apparent women's tag title
Oh,
scene.
don't speak that into. No, no,
Hmm.
no. Please, God, no. No. Um, I don't know whether it's to build up drama for the match that you would assume they're finally going to do, Willow versus Marina at All In, and whether Stat will have a hand in that. Although I don't know how. I don't know. I'm not seeing. I'm not going to be too critical of it right now. Though. I'm just going to go with it. Clearly, there's something on the horizon, but I'm also just kind of like, time's a ticking, so
Yeah,
I don't want Stat to end up high and dry,
I
as
know.
she always
Yeah,
seems to do in these situations.
yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a. It can go either way. There's a lot of there's a lot of variables. So yeah, it's slightly it's concerning but exciting at the same time. I'll choose to be excited over it. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, just
choosing
to
optimism.
yeah, exactly. Just to go back to the match slightly. I quite liked how everyone had an opportunity to get their shit in. Um, Athena's suplex to Thunder Rosa she was like on the steel steps and then like
Mm.
suplexed her onto the floor. That was brutal. I think the main thing that I noticed about this, it was women being powerful. Like they were showing how powerful they are. There was a lot of that. Like I believe Willow at one point like suplexed all three of her opponents at the same time. Just like things like that, which just showed, okay, we're not messing around. They had a great opportunity to just show all their skills and their strength. I do think that Thunder Rosa was a little bit clumsy in this at parts. But yeah. Listen, I'm not going to dwell on that. Just yeah.
Yeah. But in a way, it's like she kind of works in, even though she, like, that's always been my kind of issue with her, she's a bit of a messy worker. I think she does work in these multi-man types of matches, so she kind of just fills that
Yeah.
void
Yeah.
without like, because we've got such big characters in this, and I say powerful women within all of their own rights, and they're powerful in different ways. And you've got the start Willow stuff, and you've also got Marina Shafir coming in, and then you've also got fucking Athena, and then Athena and Billy Starks and their dynamics. So
And
it's
Spider
kind of nice
Lady
to
as
have
well.
someone that isn't.
What's the name?
Yeah,
Spider
it's
Lady.
Tekla.
Yeah, sorry.
It's kind of nice to have someone in this match who isn't overpowering it, just kind of keeping the balance.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. So we had another video package with Christian. The editing team were busy this week, it seems. Christian with the patriarchy and centering on him and Nick and their goal to be the first father and son tag team champions. And they will be fighting Big Bill and Brian Keith on Collision.
Okay. Not clamoring to go watch that match personally, but okay.
That's so harsh to Big Bill and Brian Keith.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I like all the people involved, but just the concept of it does not excite me one bit.
That's true. And that's the thing with the tag titles is like you've got FTR and they've been built up quite strong because they've had the heel turn. Then you're gonna have Christian and Nick Wayne, but neither of those teams on paper against the Hurt Syndicate excite me because the Hurt Syndicate are very heel, so you kind of want to see him go against the Jet Speed and the Outrunner team. Like you naturally want to see him go against faces and see them get some kind of comeuppance, but the teams they're building in the background for the tag titles that are gunning for it are all seemingly heel, so it's a bit weird.
Yeah, so this is why I was thinking like before when you were like, well, who's gonna ever beat the Hurt Syndicate? My brain went, well, if you turn them face and put them up against like a chicken shit like heel team who cheat to beat them, that's kind of the only path I can really see at the moment, especially with the rest of the landscape of the tag division. But I'm not suggesting that that is the right thing to do. That's just the only way I can see it at the moment.
Yeah, I can personally see the Hurt Syndicate having a long reign.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I just don't think he knows what. It's great, like the Hurt Syndicate, but they are just so freaking OP that, But also, what's the rush? What is the rush to keep Hot Potato in the tag title? What benefit would it do for FTR to win it, or Christian and Nick Wayne or Jet Speed? It wouldn't really, would it? So
No, that's right. That is right. So with the Hurt Syndicate holding them for a long time, in theory, that's going to elevate the championships and make it huge when someone does eventually beat them. So.
And you would hope that hopefully that comes from maybe signing or hitting lightning in a bottle. Some team just starts, climbing the ranks. I think that's kind of the approach right now, is just let it simmer. And I guess in a way,
luchadors or something, like a big underdog story.
Yeah, that would be great. A bit of LFI or something like that. But I think as well, because they've got the Max stuff, it's a bit convoluted because then Max wants the world title, they have the tag titles, but at least it's not so exposing, because if they didn't have that, the Hurt Syndicate probably wouldn't be getting TV time. And if they did, it'd just be squash matches all the time. So, it works, I guess. It's the best. It's the best they can do right now, is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I don't really agree with people who are complaining and hating on the Hurt Syndicate or the OP, the two this, the two that. I know they're OP, but I don't think at this point in time it's become a problem.
But look at them. Can you imagine if like they started eating shit from like the Outrunners or Jet Speed? Look at them.
Exactly.
It's bloody Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, like run by the absolute Chad, the Giga Chad that is MVP. Come on, how else do you book these men?
I totally agree with you. Exactly.
Anyways, speaking of tag teams, we had the Outrunners and FTR fiasco shown from Collision last week. Outrunners involvement post 8-man match, and FTR's statement on that.
They're
Then that's
still
all I wrote. So I don't
offended.
actually know if they even did make a statement because I didn't write anything else.
I think they
Clearly, I got
basically
bored.
said that they're just offended by it, and
Yeah, I thought it was like they said
and
nothing.
so they want a meeting with them on Collision. So yeah,
Wow.
exciting, exciting
Wow.
stuff.
Then we got to the main event, Hangman versus Beast Mortos. Mans is enjoying the CEO benefits.
Oh my God.
CEO Mortos.
I mean, what a power couple, eh?
But I think that's really cool though, because like, for a long time, you kind of have women be moved up the card because of who they, and that's just a business, right? Like nepo babies and wives and husbands and girlfriends and boyfriends. You're always gonna the politics of wrestling. They're always gonna bump up the card, right?
Mm.
Um, doesn't take away from the merit of their own skills. Got Alicia now. She's now doing interviewing backstage. Would she have gotten to AEW without MJF? Possibly. Would she have gotten there as fast? Possibly not. But the teasing in that it comes from like an affectionate place because basically I'm trying to say I think it's really fucking cool that women can be that powerful and that strong and have that influential of a voice and be respected and move. Hell yeah, that what a
Oh
girl
yeah, to
boss.
it.
She is moving her man up the card.
Yeah,
Respect it.
100%. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't know for certain. Maybe Tony Khan just likes Beast Mortals and it's got nothing to do with it.
I like Beast Mortos. No shade to Beast Mortos.
Yeah,
He's great.
it's
He was
clearly
on our
because
Hear Me Out list.
well, clearly because he's the sexiest beast in the world. Have you seen those selfies?
The mask stays on.
I don't need to see the full face to know that that is a
Oh no, I
good-looking
want I want the mask on though.
man.
Right, anyway, right, let's
Go back
let's
and
bring it
watch
back.
our 2024 roundup. Skip towards the end, and you'll get to hear our hear me out for more of this
Yeah,
content.
so hilarious. Actually, the funniest thing we've probably ever recorded. And I also thought, in terms of wrestling gratitude list, I think this every time I see him, but God, Hangman's presentation when he comes in is great. Like his entrance is so fucking good. Like the lighting, and I love all this stuff. The lighting, the Tron with him with the burning house, the music. I know we've had this for a really long time, but it's just really hitting me in this main event. I was like, God, your presentation's good.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Express that gratitude, baby.
Yeah.
Everything about him is pretty much perfect, to be fair. I can't point out any flaws.
Yeah. This match was pretty simple though, because it was kind of on like a quite tight time constraint as the main event sometimes
Yeah,
is 15 time slot, and then also you had the ad break like or picture in picture in the middle. So it felt like it never got to go to where probably like the potential it could have
I
gotten to.
agree. I agree. Yeah, I found this quite unremarkable, to be honest.
It was
I
just
did,
TV match, wasn't it? It was just a TV match.
yeah. Which not to say it was bad, but it just wasn't very. There's not. I didn't get loads of notes for it. There wasn't loads of exciting big moments that you remember.
Yeah, because I think they were saving it for the ending, weren't they? So we had the lariat and the book shot for the win. The lights go out and the books are shown in position for the EVP trigger. Mox comes out with a chin, starts to choke Hangman out. Yuta had a chair. Shafir again carrying the briefcase. The ops come down. Hangman passes out and Osprey tips the scales in that the Death Riders are outnumbered, so they retreat. No swerve in sight,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was pretty again limited notes because run of the mill Death Rider ending. Oh my god, I've just kicked my camera.
Where have you
But like,
gone?
how many? I just super kicked my camera. But how many times have we seen that ending? Quite a few times. Again, though, talking about tag division. What else do you do? Like, what do you do? The wells run dry.
Yeah, yeah.
So okay, fine. It was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't particularly exciting, even though it was like, oh, lights out and what's happening and all these people are coming out. On paper that should have maybe been quite more exciting than it was. But I think you're right because we have seen it before. Um, but at the same time, yeah, like what? I don't know. I feel like maybe there is a more creative way to go about this that would have been more exciting. But do I know what it is off the top of my head? No, I don't. So who am I to criticize?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the chain thing was maybe a little bit unique and different. Um, Kemper did it first. Who's a If you're not familiar with him, he's a wrestler on the independent scene here in Britain, and he's done the chain thing well before. But yeah, I don't know.
Gimmick infringement.
Yeah, he should sue.
But yeah, and I liked Mox at the end, like how impassioned he was, screaming into the camera. So it did have some fun elements, but yeah, at the end of the day, how did it make you feel? Was it like, oh, I need to watch Collision because all these matches that have been booked? Oh, wow, that was an exciting end. I mean, the only takeaway I really have is, as I said at the start, okay, the wheels keep on turning. The things that I'm enjoying, I'm continuing to enjoy. And in terms of short-term gratification, I'm really looking forward to Okada Ibushi. I hope that
Yeah, me
gets a
too.
decent time slot next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that for next week. And unfortunately, I'm not gonna be here to do the review. I'm gonna be in Spain sunning it up. So I'm kind of gutted that I'm gonna miss talking about that. But I feel like there was something else for Dynamite 300 that I was excited about. But now that I'm looking back, I can't remember what it was. So maybe there wasn't. But yeah, overall, like I enjoyed this show, and I do think
Yeah.
that the right things were progressed in a good way. But this we're finishing on what was quite nondescript and not particularly exciting. So that does make it feel a little flat on the end, and I not not particularly looking forward to Collision. I don't think I'll be tuning in. So
Oh, Mercedes Moné will defend her TBS championship against Mina Shirakawa. That might be
that's
what you were
it.
thinking about.
That yes, that is it. Yeah,
Yes.
again. So that's exciting. That'll be great.
Very
I'm
exciting.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, so I think where I'm sitting at for a rating is probably an 8.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair because we, the majority of what we've said has been very positive.
Yeah. Not a bad episode by any means, but think less, feel more. How did we feel? Just fine. It was
Yeah,
just
just
fine.
meh. So it's good. It's not terrible, but it's not excellent. I think that 8 is a fair score. Um, so we're just slightly down from last week, which was a 9. Um,
Whew.
yeah.
Oof.
Um,
I want to know what people's gratitude lists are for this week in wrestling.
yeah. Let us know, what are you grateful for? What's made you happy this week in wrestling? Um, what's made me happy? Hangman Adam Page always makes me happy.
That's every week.
hmm God bless him. Did we have any news or anything to cover at the end, or are we done?
Nothing of significance, no.
I'm sure that, well, because we're recording a little bit earlier than usual, like the biggest news story in the history of wrestling is going to break out probably as soon as we hit stop on this recording. But yeah, so I've already mentioned I'm unfortunately not going to be here next week, so Estelle is going to do amazingly as she always does when she's on her own. So
Oh.
you have all got that to look forward to. Hopefully, Dynamite 300 will live up to the hype. I'm sure it'll be. I mean, two huge matches already announced. So do we think there's going to be any other big matches on the card? Probably.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a difficult one though, isn't it? Because like it's caught in between the go home
Mm,
show, so
Yeah, you don't want to give away too
it's
much.
difficult.
Well, I'm intrigued to find out. I look forward to listening to your review. And so do subscribe or follow if you haven't already to make sure you don't miss that. And leave a like or a rating, 5-star rating, always much appreciated. And let us know, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Thank you as always for listening.
I must bid you adieu, goodbye, you rock, and good night, bang!
I wish you died in the womb!